Good morning, students. Now today we will start Indian economy. 7th chapter we are going to start, and the name of the chapter is employment. See, before we will start the employment, some introduction I will give you of this chapter. We know that the people do variety of the work. Some work on farms, some in factories, banks, shops, and many other workplaces. And yet a few other works at home also. So work at home includes not only traditional work like weaving or the different type of the works like handicrafts, but also modern jobs like programming work in the IT industry. And earlier, factory work meant working in the factories which are located in the cities, whereas now technology has enabled the people to produce those factory based goods at home in villages. So the basic question is, why do people work? And we know that the work plays an important role in our lives as individual and as a member of the society. Some people work for earning a livelihood. Some people working which gives them a sense of self-worth and enables them to relate meaningful with the others. And every working person is actively contributing to national income and the development of the country by engaging in the various economic activities. So this is the real meaning of earning a living. So what are the benefits of studying about the working people? First, studying about the working people gives us insights into the quality and the nature of employment in our country. So that thing we are going to discuss today. Second thing, it helps in understanding and planning our human resources. Third, it helps us to analyze the contribution made by different industries and the sectors towards the national income. These all are the topics which we are going to discuss over here. And why we are studying about the working people? Because it also helps us to address many social issues such as exploitation of marginalized sections of the society, child labor, etc. So these things are important. These things are the benefits when we study about the working people. So first of all, we are going to discuss who is worker. Who is worker? That means all those persons who are engaged in the various economic activities in whatever the capacity, high or low, which contributes to GNP are workers. And GNP we know GDP plus NFIA. That means gross domestic production plus net factor income from abroad. So all the persons, those who are engaged in the economic activities, they are contributing to the GNP as a workers. And workers also include all those people who help the main workers in the activities also. And we generally think of only those who are paid by an employer for their work as workers. But this is not like that. Those who are self-employed are also called workers. Now, the next question, what is employment? The nature of the employment in India is, we can say so many meanings are there, multifaceted. Some get employment throughout the year. Some get employment for only a few months in a year. Many workers do not get fair wages for their work. While estimating the number of workers, all those who are engaged in the economic activities are in employment, or they will be included as employed. Now let's discuss what is the participation of people in the employment in India. Now during 2011 and 12, 473 million workforce. That means during 2011 and 12, that means this data is given in your book. According to this data, India had about a 473 million strong workforce. Second one, rural workers constitute 3/4. That means since majority of people resides in the rural areas, this we know. So the proportion of the workforce which resides in the rural areas, that is also higher. So the rural workers constitute in this 473 million about 3/4. This is the contribution of the rural workers in this 473 million workforce. Now the third point is 70% of the workers are men. We know that men form the majority of the workforce in India, and about 70% of the workers are men, and the rest are the women. Men and women include child laborers in different areas also. Now the fourth point I have written over here, the women workers account for 1/3 in the urban areas and 1/5 in the rural areas. Same thing, that the women workers account for 1/3 of the rural workforce, whereas in the urban areas they are just 1/5 of the workforce. Now the next topic is worker population ratio or workforce participation rate. First of all, understand the meaning of this thing. Workforce population ratio or workforce participation rate is defined as the percentage of population which is actively contributing to the production of goods and the services of a country. That means those who are actively working and those who are contributing in the production of the goods and services, they all are included in the workforce participation rate. And this ratio we can calculate by dividing the total number of workers in India by the population in India and multiply it by 100. So basically, worker population ratio is an indicator which is used for analyzing the employment situation in the country. Second thing, if the ratio is higher, it means more people are engaged in the work or in the worker population ratio. If the ratio of the country is medium or low, it means that a very high proportion of its population is not involved directly in the economic activities. Now the next table I am showing over here, the worker population ratio over here, and this table shows the different levels of the participation of people in the economic activities. And for every 100%, about 39 are the workers in India. That means this is the total number of workers, and out of 54.4, 54.3% are the rural men workers. Rural urban men workers is 54.6. In this way, these are the ratios which are given according to 2011 and 12 ratio, 12 data. So according to this table, you can see that there is a huge difference between the worker population ratio of the rural and the urban area. You can see in the urban area, though it is in a women, you can see there is a lot of difference between the rural area or in the urban area. So why there is a difference between the ratio in rural and the urban areas? Now the first reason, people in the rural areas have limited resources to earn a higher income, and they participate more in the employment market, and many do not go to the schools, colleges and the other training institutions also. So even if some go, they discontinue in the middle to join the workforce. So this is also the basic reason. So people cannot stay at home as their economic conditions may not allow them to do so. That is why in the rural area you can see the women participation is more as compared to the urban areas, because they cannot stay at home because their economic condition doesn't allow them to sit idly at home. Another reason, on the other hand, you can say in the urban areas, a considerable section is able to study in the various educational institutions, and even they have a variety of employment opportunities also. So they look for the appropriate job to suit their qualifications and the skills. That is why you can see the number of the women are less in the urban areas, because they can choose the jobs according to their qualification and the skills also. Now from this table, the second question arises, that why are women in general and in urban area in particular not working? See, compared to the males, less females are found to be working. You can see in this table. The difference in the participation rate is very large in urban areas. For every 100 urban females, only about 15 are engaged in some economic activities. And in the rural areas, for every 100 rural women, about 25 participate in the employment market. So, compared to the urban women, more rural women are found working because of the few reasons. Now, what are these reasons? First one, it is common to find that where men are able to earn high incomes, families discourage the female members from taking up the jobs. This is the first reason. Second reason, earnings of the urban male workers are generally higher than the rural males, and so the urban families do not want females to work. Third reason, Apart from this, many household activities in which urban women are engaged are not recognized as productive work, while women working on farms in the rural areas are considered a part of the workforce, even if they are being paid wages in the cash or in the form of a food grains. So these are the two basic questions which we can ask from this table, and these questions can be asked in the exam also in 3 marks.